Welcome to Social Media Connection. I'm Jay Deragon with the Relationship Economy.
And I'm David Bullock with the David Bullock Show.
David and I have been running a series of programs, short little clips, but we're talking about the 4 A's or 4 elements of social media. Attraction, attention, attraction, affinity, and audience. We've already covered attention and attraction, and today we're going to talk about affinity. David, how would you define affinity?
Well, that's a willingness for someone to be in the same space as somebody else.
Like you and I being in here.
Right. If I didn't like you, we have no affinity for each other.
Right.
And so when you're looking at this from a social media standpoint, that's someone liking you. Affinity is likability because it's know, like, and then trust. That's the only way any relationship actually starts.
Ooh, so if I get your attention and attraction, right, I'm creating an opportunity to like you.
The space, right.
So the affinity, really, you look at social media, you've seen the diagrams of nodes, is the grouping of people with common interest, common likes, and talking about common things. And they could be talking about your brand's experience. Now, if you are able to create an attraction and an attention to people who say good things about your brand, you'd want that affinity within your territory, your space on the web.
Yeah, because if you get those two people together, that one conversation, that other conversation actually becomes a very much bigger conversation. In this case, 1 + 1 actually equals 3, 5, 10, 15. It's more than that because that conversation, if it's a good conversation or even a bad conversation, tends to grow. It tends to go viral. That's what can happen online. I mean, things move like that online.
I often use the expression 1 to 1 to a million at the click of a mouse. So if your brand, the experience people are having, when you get their attention, you get their attraction. Remember, when they're attraction and they're on your site, now it's about experience. Why? Because you want to create that affinity to your user, to your people that are attracted to you. And you want to create that so that the conversations have an affinity. You want the affinity of conversations to be good, not bad. Because when they're bad, as David said, watch out, brand, you're in trouble.
Exactly.
So start paying attention to the attention method that you use to get people's attention. What methods of conversation do you use to create that attraction? And then once you have their affinity, it's about how to keep it.
Exactly.
How to keep that common interest tied to you. You, the brand, but your brand is people, not the brand, the product, or service. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, this is, at the end of the day, if you can get people to like you, hold affinity for you, then actually you have the opportunity to begin the conversation that may lead to a transaction. And at the end of the day, that's what a business owner is looking for, a transaction.
You know, all this social web stuff, Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and all these social tools is about conversations that create an attraction because the conversation creates an affinity to other people out there. So the social web by itself is creating an attention and attraction and affinity. If you're going to jump into the space and the brand, know how to use these tools, these 3 A's that we're talking about, so that they create that affinity to you. Next up, we're going to talk about audience.
Wow.
What do you do with an audience?
I don't know.
Before we go, one last thing. The audience is now new. It's not the old audience. Stay tuned. Come on back. Thanks for staying.
See ya.